The FIFA World Cup is played every 4th year, and now I've made YouTube videos for that long. Incredible. My last anniversary was celebrated by doing a Q&A that barely received any questions, and now I'm gonna celebrate by ranking my top 3 videos of every year I've been on YouTube, from 2019 to 2022, including one honorable mention for each year. I would include 2023, but I haven't made enough videos yet. Yeah, I've become yet another list channel. How the mighty have fallen. Jokes aside, thanks for these 4 years. Hopefully I'll still be active 4 years in the future. Originally this was gonna be a complete top 10 list of all my videos, but I discovered I'm a bit tainted by nostalgia, as half of the videos ended up being from 2019. Including every year should make it more appealing and accurate. Speaking of 2019, let's start with the top 3 list of that year, my very first on YouTube. Coming in at the number 3 spot we have the problem with successor national teams, which is a very unique video. I haven't seen any other content on the matter. It brings up problems with successor team, as the title implies, such as how Russia is the official successor team of the Soviet Union and inherits all of the Soviet Union's merits, even though, for example, at the 1986 World Cup, the majority of their squad were Ukrainians. So that's, I think this is a really interesting topic, and I'm glad I covered it. At the number 2 spot, we have Croatia's unbelievable footballing journey. Yeah, it's the first video I ever made on the channel. It needs a spot. I said I'm a bit tainted by nostalgia, but I still think it's fair to include this, even though it's really, the video itself is kind of average, but it is my first ever video, so it's gotta be on the list. Yeah, the story of the Croatian national team simply gave me a lot of inspiration, so shoutouts to them, I guess. The honorable mention before we get to the number 1 spot is Colombia's infamous World Cup appearances. Another really interesting national team story about, the history of the Colombian national team and the 1994 World Cup and the murder of Andres Escobar because he scored an own goal. And then the redemption at the 2014 World Cup where they made it all the way to the quarterfinals. And I have to say, I think that the title of the video is pretty clever. And at the number 1 spot we have Denmark and the Danish Dynamite. And I should also add that this is my all-time favorite video of every year on this channel. I really like it. It was dormant for several months at least, I think possibly even a couple of years, but then the algorithm picked it up somewhat, and now it has 6,000 views, which is nice. The video covers the rise of the Danish national team, starting with the backstory, and then also the rise during the 80s, which culminated in them winning a Euro title in 1992. I particularly like the segment where I shut up and just let a montage play of Denmark's goals in the group stage of the 1986 World Cup. I think that's... I still get goosebumps watching that, I have to admit. Moving on to the best year in human history, 2020. Number 3, we have who will host UEFA Euro 2028. It's I'm pretty happy. Even the predictions weren't perfect. It's not. Spain was my favorite to host Euro 2028, but that's looking unlikely now. The United Kingdom bid is definitely the favorite now, but I still think it's a good video, and the analysis is solid, and it's my most viewed video of all time with over 12,000 views, so it definitely goes on the list. At the number 2 spot, we have analyzing and predicting every 2020-21 UEFA Nations League group. Firstly, I have to say I really like the thumbnail for it. And it's also my longest video yet, but even though predictions they're pretty good but not great, but I still am proud of the video because of how much work went into it. Not to mention it's the longest video that I've ever uploaded, so it also merits inclusion on the list. Now for the number 1 spot of 2020, I am cheating a bit, but it's who would have won the lost 1942 and 1946 World Cups. They are 2 videos, but I'm including them as one because they cover, I mean, basically the same topic but with different years. So yeah, I think it's a really interesting idea. I haven't really seen anyone else do it, at least not in as great of detail as this. I think the best thing I could find was a short Reddit post, Reddit comments, because but this goes into more depth, and I really am proud of these videos. And they also have a lot of views by my standards, which is obviously a big bonus. And yeah, the honorable mention is the God is Bulgarian video. Another really good national team story. I can't remember where I heard it, but when Bulgaria secured qualification in the last second for the 1994 World Cup, the commentator screamed "God is Bulgarian," which just gave me a lot of inspiration of how I wanted the video to be, and the title of course, and it turned out great. 2021. This is, interestingly enough, one of very few videos that stem from a request from a commenter. He wanted to see how Scotland would have performed if they had not have withdrawn from the World Cup, which gave me the brilliant idea to not just make one such video about Scotland, but to include all teams that withdrew from the World Cup. And it was really fun to do, because I became really interested in the topic myself, and I think that shows in the video. It's a pretty unique video idea too. I haven't seen any other on YouTube, but maybe I just haven't been looking hard enough. Right, number 2, UEFA Euro 2020 predictions. Yeah, you might think I'm crazy because, hello, this is the top 3 of 2021, not 2020, but as we all know, Euro was postponed a year, so my 2020 predictions are in 2021. I really like it. I think it's good analysis, even though a lot of the predictions ended up being wrong, but I still think the predictions are good in theory, if that makes any sense. And I probably got the most kind YouTube comment I've ever gotten on any video, which was that this is more than a prediction, this is science. So this video does have a special place in my trophy cabinet, if you could call it that. The honorable mention is winners and losers FIFA World Cup teams. Blatantly steals the concept of Wonderwise video and applies it to World Cup teams. I mean, as you can see, I was, well, to put it kindly, I was heavily inspired by the thumbnails as well, but this was, yeah, it has only 74 views, which I think is a shame, but it was really fun to do, so I'm still gonna include it, and I think the video itself is pretty good. And number 1, we have the UEFA Euro 2020 Chronicles. This is only my second longest video ever, or possibly third. I have so many now I can't keep track, but one of my longest videos, but definitely the one that I've put the most work in. So I am very disappointed that it only has 166 views, because it's I go above and beyond to tell the many stories of Euro 2020. I literally watched every match and took notes of occurrences in the matches, so I could make this video. But even though it hasn't been so successful, well, yet anyways, I am really proud of it, and I really like it. Alright, 2022, which, well, fun fact, has been my worst year so far in terms of views, but I'm gonna keep going anyway. Number 3, we have what if Yugoslavia wasn't banned from Euro 1992? Simple concept. I really like exploring such questions, so if you have any other, please ask in the comments, it's only fun for me. But yeah, the title is self-explanatory. It seems like a pretty obvious content idea, but I haven't seen anything else on YouTube surrounding it, so it was a bit of an empty net, so to speak. And I got some good comments on it as well, which is always very encouraging. And it has over 700 views, which is not bad. And it is something that I always wondered myself, so it was interesting to finally get some answers. Number 2, we have when should countries be banned from football, which is the most recent entry on any of these lists, because it was uploaded just a couple of, well, 3 months ago, almost 3 months, well, less than 3 months ago. It was a very tricky and controversial topic, because which I'm not used to covering on the channel, but it was nonetheless really interesting to explore, and I didn't receive any backlash from it. The comments were supportive and the same, and the thumbnail is amazing. The only shameful thing is that it only has 90 views so far, but it is what it is. I still like the video. The honorable mention is 2022 FIFA World Cup. Will France reach the knockout stage? one of a few prediction videos I have made that actually turned out to be correct. For the longest time I was convinced that France would fall victim to the so-called Champions Curse, because it seems to be because it happens so often. And no, it's not just black magic, there is psychological merit to it and aging players and whatnot. But I decided to really look at it in detail, at this French team, and trying to make it as scientific as possible, I guess. And I came to the conclusion that France would not be eliminated in the group stage, and I was right. So I'm glad I didn't just jump on the bandwagon of the Champions Curse. I actually went my own way, so to speak, even though I of course wasn't alone in thinking France would advance. It was not exactly an unpopular opinion. All right, and number 1 we have The Adventures of Belgium. I got a brilliant idea. When I was a kid I watched Tintin a lot, which is a Belgian, written by a Belgian comic originally. So I thought it was cute to sort of fuse the Tintin intro, which is amazing by the way, with the Belgian national team, and I'm really happy with how it turned out, even though the video doesn't have a lot of views, but the video itself I really like it, and how it tells the story of the Belgium national team. That's it for the video. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. See you in March when I will upload my predictions for the Euro 2024 qualifiers.